want to date the girl that other men find the most attractive, not the woman that they personally find the most attractive. And this is why plus size dating is so hard. It's almost like making a statement like, this is how well I'm doing in life. I pulled this baddie. Yeah, if the girl is attractive by societal norms, of course he's gonna look at her and think she's attractive. But he might have other preferences. When you are a bigger girl, you will see that men do have other preferences, and attraction is actually never the issue because we can pool. We do pool, we will pool, but getting the commitment is always just gonna be a little bit harder. And I think that is okay to admit. I think it's hard as a woman because we operate so differently than men. Our brains are literally wired differently. I mean, it is an ongoing running joke with all women that like, if you start talking to a guy and you're showing your friends a picture of him, you're like, wait, no, I swear he's better in person. Like, let me find a better photo. Or that you can't be best friends unless you have completely opposite types. Any man I've ever really been down bad about, a lot of my friends are like, Jordan, come on. We as women don't really value what other women think of our men. I more so want to impress other women with my outfit choice. I'm not saying that while dating as a plus size woman, you're never gonna find anyone who wants to commit to you, who doesn't think you're beautiful. Like, you are someone's type, absolutely, and you will find that. But I think it's okay to come to terms with that. Like, you're gonna have a little bit of a different journey. It's gonna be a little bit harder, and you're gonna have to really sift through a lot of interesting situations to get there. Anytime I post a video like this, people are like, wow, like, I have not seen anyone talk about this. Like, I always thought I was like a little cuckoo. I think it's great to normalize it, talk about it, and be like, yeah, like, our society sucks. Honestly, do half of these men even realize that they're doing that on purpose? Probably not. Like, probably not.
A man will stay in a relationship with you for 3, 4, 5, 6+ years, live with you, get a dog with you, merge his whole life with you, and have no intention of marrying you. That's why I say you should be in a relationship for 2 to 3 years maximum. And if he has not asked you to marry him by then, or at least been planning it, you probably need to leave. This is assuming you started dating in your late 20s or later. If you were younger, it's different. A man does not need more than 2 to 3 years of being in a relationship to know if he wants to marry you. If he is still not sure by that point, there's a good chance he will never marry you, and he's probably going to end up wasting your time. I've seen this play out with many women close to me quite recently. They were with the man for 5, 6 years and no ring. If you are a woman looking for a real relationship and marriage, you need a man that is intentional with you from the beginning.
Yeah, so for the first time in human history, you don't have to get married anymore. You don't have to have a husband to open a bank account. And also, most people probably aren't going to judge you for never having kids or getting married. So do with that information what you will. Young women are experiencing for the first time in their lives an ounce of the freedom that men have had for centuries, for millennia. And all I'm saying is, I don't see guys sitting there stressing out about when they're going to get married and when they're going to have kids. I see them living their lives selfishly, and I think you should live your life selfishly too. I don't think young women understand how much power they hold. You can put your career first and then just do like a girls trip for every summer and every winter for the rest of your life. You can have girl dinner every evening without worrying about what your husband's going to eat for dinner, and that is a feasible way you can live your life now. Do you guys understand how awesome that is? How awesome that is, and you're choosing to cry over some guy who literally doesn't know that you can't use Clorox wipes on your skin. Like, brother, live your life. Have fun. Do whatever you want. You're a free woman now. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
I had the worst Hinge experience of my life last night, and you can laugh because it's funny. So me and this guy matched like 3 weeks ago. He's asked me out like quite a few times, and it would always be like getting dinner at 9 p.m. or I had tonsillitis, so it never happened. He mentioned doing something last night. So yesterday, like during the day, I was just like, what time are you thinking if we do something later tonight? And he's like, oh, maybe 8 p.m. And I was like, well, is there any chance we can go earlier? He's like, no, because I want to go to the gym after work. And I'm like, well, can you like go to the gym after we hang out? He's like, no, because the gym's something I look forward to. Like, what an odd thing to say. Like, how am I meant to interpret that? Anyway, so I kind of left it on red, went about my day, and then at like just after 6 p.m. he messaged me the screenshot of his location at the gym and was like, how far are you from here? And I was like, well, about 30 minutes. And he's like, okay, like, do you want to like, we can just go for a walk or something, because I said I'd already eaten. And I was like, you know what, like, whatever, you're a grown man, ask me on a walk for a first date, but we'll move past that. So I was like, okay, sure, like, I'll go. By now it's like nearly 7 o'clock, and he's like, be here by 7:30. And I'm like, okay, like, don't give me a fucking deadline. Like, I'll be there when I can. You've given me a whopping 30 minutes notice. Anyways, so I'm like actually on the ball to like get there around that time. So keep 7:30 in mind. So I then I'm like, okay, like I'm about to leave, and then the plan starts changing, and he's like, okay, so like drive to the gym, and then we'll walk to my hotel, and then I'll go and shower and get changed. And I'm like, whoa, hold up, I don't want to go to your hotel room, I don't know you. But then he's like, okay, well, you can just wait at the restaurant while I shower. And I'm like, first of all, I didn't think we were going to a restaurant. Second of all, I'm not waiting alone at this nice restaurant while you're in the fucking shower. Like, what is going on? Anyway, so I said that, I thought we were going for a walk. So then the plan turns into, okay, well, like we'll walk to the hotel, walk to the restaurant, and then we'll get his takeaway food, and will walk me back to my car. By this time, I'm like ready to go, like I'm nearly in the car. So I'm like, whatever. Our first day is me escorting this guy to get some takeaway. And the last thing I said was just like, as long as I'm not having to walk back to my car alone, because in the city at night, I don't want to do that. He's like, yeah, that's all good. Like, I'll see you soon, X, whatever. And then I told him I was leaving. And then, so I leave and I drive like 15 minutes and this guy calls me and I answer it. And I'm like, hey, like, what's up? And he's like, oh, have you left yet? And I'm like, well, yes, you idiot. Like, I told you I was leaving 15 minutes ago, like, on my way. And then he's like, oh, okay. And I'm like, what's wrong? Like, should I go home? And he's like, maybe. And I'm like, what is going on? And he's like, I just feel like I'm rushing my workout. Getting there at 7:30. He's been at the gym since 6. And I'm like, I literally laughed. Like, I let out a laugh. I'm sorry, but... And I was like, what? Like, okay. And he's like, yeah, I just don't want to rush my workout. And I'm like, is this guy on fucking drugs? Like, I'm not saying anything, so I hung up on him. And then I turn around, I'm driving home. He calls me 5 times on the way home. I don't answer because, like, what does this cunt have to say for himself? I don't want to hear it. As I get home, I see that he's, like, messaged me in between these calls. And the first lot of messages is literally just like, I'm sorry. I just don't want to rush my workout. You deserve better than me anyways. I'm like, well, no shit. It doesn't take much to figure that out. And then he calls me a couple times. And then it's, hey, I feel bad. Come. Bro is now pity inviting me to come back. No fucking way, babe. Calls me another couple times and then he's like, not picking up the calls is crazy. Bro, I'll tell you what's fucking crazy. Your behavior right now is fucking crazy. You've asked me on this day like 5 times and one time that I'm actually free to go, you want to finish your workout? Like, what the hell? Anyways, so I pretty much replied. I was like, honestly, I've never been treated like that by a man before. And I don't really have much to say. And then he was like, yeah, like, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't want to rush my workout. And like, I was scared to meet you. And then he replied to my message about me just checking that I won't be walking to my car alone. And he's like, yeah, and shit like this. Like, it just gave me a weird vibe. And then I was like kind of expanded on that because I was like, how far is something shoved up your ass that you can't understand? Like, a woman doesn't want to walk to her car alone at night. And then I just said that. I was like, I feel like that's a valid thing to ask. And he's like, yeah, but like, I would never do that to you. I would never make you walk alone. And I was like, well, I don't know you, you idiot. Like, obviously that's why I'm fucking saying that. Like, are you actually stupid in the head? It's like, last message is like, okay, well, like, sleep well. Like, I guess I won't be seeing you tonight then. No, cunt. No, you won't. Like, sorry?
So, number one, I guess I'm confused as to what you actually wanted to do. Didn't seem like you liked his plans before, and he just continued that. So I'm not even sure why you went on the date. You didn't like what he was doing before. Why would you go hang out with him if y'all can't get on the same page? This is what men are saying to modern women. There's dozens of other guys out there that would have set a date, kept a date, and gone on about it. But y'all really don't like those guys. Y'all put them in the friend zone.
Okay, so I was watching one of my favorite YouTubers yesterday, Maya Galore, and she does all things beauty, lifestyle, fashion, that kind of stuff, right? In her vlog, she talked about how she feels the men of this generation are just scared to approach her. Obviously she's successful. She presents herself very classy, very rich, luxury. That's the aesthetic that she has. And she recently went out with her friend. I think they went to some bar to like watch a football game or something, and she noticed so many men were staring at her, but none of them were bold enough to actually come over and approach her or come over and talk. I think the only guy, she said, that was bold enough to do something was like trying to summon her. So he made eye contact and I think he was like gesturing her to come over, but she doesn't respond to that. But for the girls on here, do y'all relate to that? Do y'all ever feel like men are just afraid to approach you? Men are afraid to actually make a move. It's like, you know, they're staring, but they're just not bold enough to talk to you. And I definitely relate to that, because when I think back on the last, let's say 2-3 years, men just don't approach. And you could say, oh, well, maybe they just don't find you attractive. But like she said, sometimes you see them staring. It's like you see them staring, making constant eye contact with you. But it's like they're just not afraid to. I don't know. What's the cause of that? Are men intimidated? Because again, she does carry herself very rich, very well put together. Are they just intimidated by us? Are they just shy? Do they just lack initiative? Like, do we just have a generation of men that don't take initiative anymore? What's going on?
I swear, dating apps are just ruining the dating world for everybody. I love it how you organize to go on a date with somebody and confirm in the morning, by the way. Actually, I confirmed midday that we were supposed to go on this date tonight. And then I get a message an hour before I'm supposed to be seeing them, being like, I'm really sorry, I went on a date with somebody last night and it was really nice and it doesn't feel right to go on a date with you, so sorry to cancel last minute. And look, I'm grateful that, you know, they messaged me and they were upfront and honest, but I also just, I'm so exhausted. It is so hard to keep dating and to keep putting myself out there, especially when on a dating app somebody is like, oh, you know what, if it doesn't work out with this one, I'll just swipe and I'll find somebody else. If it doesn't feel slightly right, that's okay. There are plenty of people out there. And it hurts. It hurts a lot. And, you know, I rushed home from work to get ready I was quite excited for this, and then, yeah, here I am on my bed crying because, again, this keeps happening to me. It's like I'm about to go and meet someone who I've been chatting to and it's been great, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, sorry, I met someone else. When am I going to be chosen? That's the biggest question. When's that happening? For now, she's single and in her 30s.
Men only want one thing from us, and it's not sex necessarily. It's actually far more sinister than that. The thing that men want from us is our light, our energy, our soul. Because if you think about it, if men loved sex so much, they would actually want to spend time with us. They wouldn't be ghosting us. They wouldn't be making us lose our minds, crying to our friends, wondering why they said they'd like us, but now they never text us and don't want to spend time with us. If they wanted to have sex with us, they would want to spend time with us in real life. Because I don't know about y'all, but when I really like a guy, I want to see him all the time. I want to be intimate with him all the time. So it's interesting that the feeling is not mutual, especially when the guy said he liked me, I like him. Why don't you want to spend time with me? Why don't you want to get jiggy with it when I know that's all you men really want? Because it's not. It's not what they want. What they want is to drain us of our energy, of our light. They want to absorb us. They don't so much care about our body as they do our soul. The men who are constantly in your phone, constantly want to see you and spend time with you, are the ones you don't actually care about. Why? Because you haven't given yourself to them. They don't have your energy. They don't have you. They don't own you. They want to. And the ones that you actually like, that you are giving your energy to, and they say they like you too, they're the ones that are ghosting you. They won't want to spend time with you. They don't even care about having sex with you. It's because they've got your energy and they're getting your energy day by day. As long as you are hooked and attached, and as long as they own you, then they are feeding off of you like literal vampires. So having open communication with men and being like, listen, if you just want to have sex with me, that's fine. We can have that arrangement. Or if you have open communication with a man and you say, hey, if at any point you don't like me, you don't want to see me anymore, that's fine. Communicate that with me. You can have this open communication with them all day long, and they can be down with this open communication. But when time comes, they will never openly tell you, oh, I just want to have sex with you. Oh, I'm actually not interested in you, because neither are true. Neither are true. They don't just want to have sex with you. And it's not that they don't want to spend time with you anymore, because they want to keep you latched on. They want to keep you right where you are. They want to keep draining this life from you. And as long as they can, they will allow that to happen. They don't have to see you every day. They don't have to talk to you every day. In fact, the more breadcrumbing they do, the more energy they get from us. So yes, men do only want one thing from you, but it's not your body. It's your soul.
And I know you probably spend a lot of time thinking about this, but most regular dudes do actually want a relationship. They do actually want friendship. That's the thing that they want from women. They want respect. They want loyalty. There's a few other things that men want. It's not a lot. It's not a whole top 10 list. It's more like a top 5, 6, maybe 7 list of the things that they want. But y'all aren't willing to give that. So in a lot of cases, what y'all have to give is your body. And you think that a man is draining you of your energy, but really it's Chad and Tyrone that you keep on entertaining that's draining you. And then you're looking at all other men like they're doing it. That's your own doing. You're allowing that.
I'll start taking men's mental health seriously when y'all start taking it seriously that y'all's homeboys rape bitches.
Then I will say this. Since there's a great many of you that share in that sentiment that you will not take men's mental health seriously, let me humbly remind some of you that mentally ill men are not the ones committing those atrocious crimes. Those are men with mental problems that need to be addressed. So if you don't care about men's mental health, then you don't care about women's safety.
So I had a good friend of mine tell me recently, Emily, you should date men who aren't so handsome. They're like, you should date men who are less attractive. I will absolutely not be doing that. I am unashamedly, I like to be attracted to the person I'm dating. I'm not ashamed about that. And I'm not ashamed that that is a requirement that I have to be attracted to the person I'm dating. And if that person just happens to be very good looking because that's who I'm attracted to, sure. Of course, they have to have, other qualities. But I think it's like, as women, I'm okay to be shallow in the sense that I have to be attracted to the person I'm dating. Like, I'm okay to just not date otherwise. Like, if I'm dating somebody, it's because I'm attracted to them physically, as well as obviously emotionally, mentally, like that all has to be there. But I think it's crazy that there's a sense of like, oh, you should date someone who's kind of not that good looking. To be clear, I'm not dating actors, models. Like, I'm not dating people who are professionally good looking. I'm dating like normal people who just happen to be good looking. As a woman, have the same kind of superficiality that a man would have. Okay, it's okay.
I swear that men don't actually want to be in a relationship with the really attractive girl. They just want to experience her, be in the presence of her, show her off as a trophy, but they never want to actually date that girl because they get too insecure. And I honestly just met this guy and he kind of told me the same thing. He told me he had dated one really tall girl in the past that was really pretty and he got too insecure. And she was a little bit taller than him. I was an inch shorter than him. And he kept telling me things that I should have seen as a red flag, but I wasn't thinking about it. And now I'm currently getting ghosted. And I should have kind of seen that coming. So basically he told me that he saw me at the gym 2 years ago and thought about me for 2 years because I was like his dream type. And then he saw me again because I don't go to this gym often. And he was like, I have to ask you out. And he didn't tell me that right off the bat. He told me once we were like a few dates in. But like, then he told me that like he genuinely just goes on dates with pretty girls just because he's in the presence of a pretty girl. Men really are just that simple. They want to be around us. They want to brag about us, use us as trophies, but they never really have any intention of locking the pretty girl down. And I feel like that proves my point because now he's ghosting me, but he's watching everything that I am doing. And I just think that most men can't handle the pretty girl. They can't. And it's just unfortunate because it's like, why did you have to pursue me then? Like, why?
I believe men are supposed to chase a woman, date her, spoil her, respect and adore her, and love her more. Anything outside of that is just weird. And if you're watching this as a woman, disagreeing with it, thinking it's too much or you don't deserve this, you have been brainwashed and you do not know your own worth. And you may even have internalized misogyny, which you definitely need to work on and heal that shit.
Dating apps when you're over 30 are just like a really sad place, and I don't understand why. Like, it really, every time I go on there, I feel like I lose hope. I look at the people that are liking my profile and I'm like, what? If this is what's out there, I'm doomed. That's not the right attitude to have. So we're getting out there. We're getting out there in the real world. All of my best relationships, I've met my partners like IRL. I think it's just a matter of getting out there, putting yourself in positions to meet quality people / meet men. And so I've made a little challenge for myself, and my girlfriend, Brittany, has agreed to join me on this journey. She's also single in her 30s. And we have a little standing lunch date with each other on Sundays, and we go to a sports bar where they have a good food menu, and we do our little weekly catch up together there, enjoy our lunch, and we are where a lot of men are. Of course, like, the goal is to be in a position to potentially meet someone, but we're not going there just to like be on the lookout for someone. We're there to have lunch, yap, watch the game, have a little Sunday drink. I live in New York City. I'm out and about a lot in all sorts of different places, but I realized a lot of the places that I go are places where men usually are not. Like my workout classes and stuff like that. And so this is just my way of putting myself out there, not going out searching for it, but just like putting myself in a better position. And it's actually worked because we did it once before and I met a really nice guy and I ended up going out on a date with him. I was in the zone, I was with my friends, watching the game, having fun, laughing, and he just kind of popped up out of nowhere. The key is to go with somebody that you actually want to have a good conversation with. Go where they serve lunch, so you're not just like there with your binoculars on looking out for your man. You're like enjoying a nice lunch, and just be in the environment, not out searching. You're just putting yourself in an environment where you could potentially meet somebody, but you're not there to go and meet somebody. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, but I think most modern women forget that their energy can actually repel people. You guys think that you're the only one that can read body language. Men can look and see she's not open. Not really. Oh, no. I would be willing to date you. I would be willing to change for you. No, I don't want that type of woman. I want a woman that is who she is already without me having to come up and be 6 foot and have a 6-pack and have 6 figures. I want a woman that's already going to be who she's going to be. But you're not satisfied with your options. Some of those options that you have are probably pretty good options, but they're not 6 foot. But they probably don't make 6 figures. Or they probably like to go fishing, so that gave you the ick. They like to play video games, so that gave you the ick. But men don't make fun of your hobbies, or I like to do makeup, or I like to scroll on TikTok. I like to watch all of these reality television shows. They don't make fun. They just allow you to do it. That's probably why you're not finding success. Or, to be fair, that might be part of the reason, because there's some other factors if we hold the man accountable.
Anyway, I'll let you know how it goes.
Hear me out. I don't want to date and be out of their league. I want them to be out of my league. You know what I mean? People say it to me or you, whoever, as like a compliment to have washboard abs. And I want to be the one who's like, oh, he's out of my league. I'd love that.
So my hot take is that it's actually women who ruined modern romance, not men. So I know some girls will disagree with me and say that I'm not being a girl's girl, but this is just my opinion based off of my observations. But I honestly feel like a lot of girls these days don't understand what it takes to be in a long-term and a meaningful and genuine relationship. And I think like this issue mainly came from social media, especially TikTok, because I see these type of girls on TikTok all the time, and it's always my friends who are addicted to social media who think this way. When they get asked like, oh, what do you bring to the table? They say, what do you mean what do I bring to the table? I'm just a girl. And these girls would say, oh, I deserve all this princess treatment, da da da. Which, yes, you deserve princess treatment. But that doesn't mean you should not be doing anything for him. A princess has duties and responsibilities as well. And it just kind of annoys me when these girls would leave their man just because he got laid off, or get mad at him because he didn't get her like the designer purse that she wanted. Because I'm just like, you're setting such a bad example for other girls and other people, because not all girls are like that. Not all girls, you know, take things for granted. And like, if their man does something for them, they just say, well, of course, this is the bare minimum. And I'm like, even if something is the bare minimum, you should still, you know, say thank you. And it just like pisses me off when people think they're so entitled to everything that their man does for them. Like, the least you can do is be grateful and express that. You should probably do something in return. I'm not saying like treat it as like a transaction, but I'm saying like if he treats you well, you need to treat him well too. And I literally have friends who just call their man their wallet. And it just kind of, I don't know, it's just very dehumanizing. It's kind of made me really sad recently because my boyfriend is a athlete and he got hurt, or he injured his foot, so he had surgery. And a few days after, he told me that he was actually really scared that I would leave him when he told me that he got injured. Because having an injury, you know, means he can't play, and it means like less money. So he's gonna make less money than he did last year. And he just, you know, was really scared that I was gonna leave him when I found out. And it just made me sad because my man shouldn't have to think like that. Like, he shouldn't have to think that I'm just gonna leave him when things get rough. And I know it's not something that I did that made him think that. I just know it's because of like social media. And yeah, that kind of hit a little bit too close to home. And it just like made me think back on all the times like where I've had these types of conversations with other girls, and I'm just like, girl, you're delusional. You sound like a child, literally. But yeah, that's my hot take. Everyone treat their man, treat their woman well, and happily ever after. Also, I got my nails done. I love it.
I have a date tonight, so I thought we would have a little chit chat about the dating scene in Toronto while I get ready. I've honestly had a hard time dating in Toronto because a lot of the guys that are in their 30s or early 40s are still kind of in their Playboy era for some reason. It's like a lot of these men like just really aren't looking to like start a family or have a wife. And even if they want to date with intention, they don't really want to have the type of relationship that I'm looking for. I think along with not knowing what you want, a lot of these Toronto guys don't know how to date properly anymore. They aren't very chivalrous. They aren't opening doors. A lot of them want you to be like a boss babe, but then like also don't want you to be in your masculine. Like they really don't know. And then when you do tell them what you do for a living and that you live alone and that you have your own apartment and you make good money and you have a really fulfilling career and great friends, then they get intimidated and then they run away. And there's one thing that everybody should remember, especially if you're dating in your 30s. You are not asking for too much, ever. But never dull your shine for anybody, because why would you? See you in the next one.
Whatever happened to the extended makeout? Drawn out, slow, delicious connection, kissing, hands everywhere, exploring, curiosity, with no certain destination for what would come next. Just in the moment. It's a little chaotic, it can be messy, but it's so fun. Now it just feels like everyone is in such a hurry to get to the end credits. There's no patience. There's no enjoying the moment. Because that tension, that buildup can sometimes be the best part. I've had a lot of makeouts over the last year or two. Every time the person says, oh gosh, I feel like I'm in high school again. That was so fun. Exactly. I don't think young people do that anymore. And I feel like that's why so many people are doing and not, let's bring that back. That's the best part.
No, they don't do that. And I'm afraid you probably shouldn't have said anything about this. That's disgusting, ma'am. You're going to wonder why men aren't interested. And this is going to be the video that you need to come back and review.
All right, this is going to be a really vulnerable post. I have been single for, is it 3 years now? Yeah, 3 years. And I just started getting on dating apps recently. I want to say like a month and a half ago. And these are paid, by the way. These are, paid apps that you have to pay a monthly subscription. They're not free. And I haven't had that much luck. And the haters on TikTok say it's because I'm 47 and I'm past my expiration date. And I'm not marketable anymore in the dating world. But I can't believe that because I see women older than me finding love with good men. So I can't wrap my head around that. I come with no baggage. I have no kids. I'm divorced. I have my own job, my own car. I do well for myself. And I just struggle to accept that it's because of my age. Of course, it's a factor. It's always going to be a factor at this point. But I just don't know. I don't know what you guys think, but so far on Hinge, what's been happening is I'll get tons of messages, right? I'll interact with these men. I'll share my Instagram, I'll start messaging them, and then maybe 2 days into the communication, they disappear. I guess they found something better, and they found somebody to hook up with, which I'm not going to do right away. I'm actually not going to do for quite a while, because I've been dry for 3 years, and I'm not just going to jump into bed with somebody that, is interested in me. I don't know if it's maybe my profile. I don't have any compromising pictures on there. I don't have any pictures of, my breasts out, my butt out. They're very decent, very nice pictures. Pictures I would put like on LinkedIn, if that gives you an idea of how conservative they are. I just don't know. I don't know if anybody out there is listening to this, but I am very frustrated. I'm on a weight loss journey. I have lost 63 pounds. I have about another 60 to 70 to go. I know some of you may think that's a lot, but that's my goal. And even as I'm getting thinner, I'm still not getting the results that I want. Ideally, I'd like to find a partner that's between the ages of maybe 35 to 50. I do like to date younger men, but not too young, because they have more energy and they're just kind of my vibe. I'm just looking for someone stable, just like myself, someone that's not willing to do 50-50, because I'm not doing that. I think that's part of the problem, because these men, they want a domesticated houseworker and 50-50. And I'm not going to compromise that or, settle, right? I don't care how old I am. So anyways, I don't know. It's really rough out there right now. And I just don't know how to navigate any of this, because it doesn't make any sense to me. Why? Somebody like me that's put together, attractive. Yeah, I know that's subjective, but I think I'm okay. I'm not ugly, and I don't understand what's going on right now with the market. I don't get it. I don't know. It's the other day I talked to somebody in their 20s, and they said they were into older women, and I had like this long ass conversation with him. It was a really good conversation, actually. And the next day, we were talking about setting up plans to meet up on Friday. And he's like, I have a lot going on with my family. I can't really meet up right now. And then I was like, you can't meet up right now, or you're having a problem with the age gap? Because you said you didn't at first. Now you do. So he said, no. I don't know how I'm going to explain to my family that I have a person I'm interested in that's like, 18 years older, which that is a big gap. I normally don't do a gap like that. Ideally, a good gap for me would be 10 to 12 years max. But anyways. Okay, so that's it. Any advice for a single 47-year-old woman that's looking for love in all the wrong places? Let me know.
I work for a dating service, and let me tell you, the men in their 50s and 60s dating within their age range, they are burnt to a crispy crisp. During my interviews, I always like to ask them, what's your experience been with app dating? Are you on websites to meet people? Something I'm hearing far too often is that women are showing up on these dates not looking like their photos, and I'm not even talking about filters. People are literally using photos 3, 5, 10 plus years old and then showing up on the dates. And what did you think was going to happen?
Just need to talk out loud here for a second. I've been out of the dating world for 4 years, and in that time, I have very easily come to the decision that I don't really care if I date ever again. I definitely don't feel like I'm missing anything. I do not feel alone, right? But after 4 years, things start getting foggy. You know what I mean? You start forgetting why you don't want to date anymore. So now that I've been like talking with, whatever, and a little more open to the dating world, my TikTok and my friends have been telling me their stories of their relationships, and I'm just like, have I forgotten? Have I forgotten that I've escaped the devil that is dating? You know what I mean? Like, have I gone so far into myself that I have completely forgotten why I didn't want to date anybody ever again in my entire life and die alone? Because I keep seeing these videos of these women, in their 60s, and they're like, and people ask them, do men ever change? And they're like, no. I'm like, okay, so I'm forgetting something. I am forgetting what it's like to date a man. I also just came across a video where the women were like, it's actually really cool when I meet someone and she doesn't have a boyfriend. Like, that's fucking cunt. Now I'm confused.
Well, what you're probably doing is romanticizing the relationships that people tell you about. And to be fair, they're probably leaving out things in terms of, well, we work on this, we're going through that, which they should. So you're forgetting that you're probably going to have to put in a lot of work, a huge amount of work in these relationships. So that's probably why you're single. Most modern women don't want to do that.
Yo, some women get on my fucking nerve. Like, they're over here fucking turning 40, telling me that, oh, I can't find a good man, I can't find a good man. And then they fucking talk to someone and they just stop talking to them. And I'm like, well, what the fuck happened? Oh, well, I asked him what he was doing and he told me he was eating chicken wings. Okay, and that was it. He was eating fucking chicken wings. You fucking stopped talking to him because he was eating fucking chicken wings? No, he should have, like, ate something healthier. Like, I want my guy to eat something healthy. The guy fucking wants chicken wings. You just stopped talking to a guy for eating fucking chicken wings. That's why you fucking 40 and single. Like, what do you mean they ain't good guys? He's not a good guy because he eats fucking chicken wings? Get the fuck out of here.
There's a man up here that posted and said, we aren't having a male loneliness epidemic. It's natural selection. No one is choosing you because you don't have the things that would make a very good next generation. It's not male loneliness. It is inadequacy and incompetence. And honestly, probably something about the way you look just doesn't sit right with people.
In a minute, I'ma need a sentimental.
You are the red flag. I don't even need to explain it. You are the red flag. And it says nothing about him.
You know, the one thing that I've realized that makes it so much harder dating in my 30s as a Christian woman now? The whole idea of dating opposites, those attract, I have found is not the case. Maybe he's more outgoing, maybe she's more shy, vice versa. But when it comes down to ideologies and belief systems, opposites indeed do not attract, nor do they stick together. And the things that I used to put up with when I was younger, it doesn't fly anymore. And things that I see that I know would be a huge issue later on in the relationship are things that I cut people off immediately for now. There's no point in waiting around trying to figure out if that red flag is indeed a red flag disguised in a green one when you know that it's a red flag. And because of that, I find that my talking stages are much shorter than they used to be. I'm talking like, give me a few days and I'll know whether or not I'm interested in getting on this ride moving forward. I enjoy my peace entirely too much. And nobody will squander that for me. And now, at the point that I'm at in my walk with the Lord, I've been asking God to open my eyes to things that I might not have known that I was the problem at one point in my life. And then on top of that, trying to find a man to God is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. And then, let you find him doesn't necessarily mean that because he's a man of God that he's your man of God. So not only are we looking for the needle in a haystack, but we're looking for the needle in a haystack that's also underneath the bottom of the ocean. It's rough out here, y'all.
The qualities in men right now are horrible. I'd rather be alone than settle for a man right now. What happened? Like in my 20s, I feel like I met like a better selection. But maybe when you get to this age, a lot of people start showing their true colors. I have no idea.
If that lady's 30, then I'm almost 40, which is true. It just goes to show that you cannot rely on somebody's picture or video to determine their age. Which, trust me, when women start to realize that it's really their age that's keeping them from the pool of men that they want to date, they might start fudging their age a little bit. Which is another thing that you guys should be looking out for when you're meeting somebody online that you don't know. That is one reason, on top of many other reasons, why I always recommend doing a public data check on the woman that you're interested in on a trusted website like publicdatacheck.com. You can find out their age, where they've lived, if they have a record of anything that you would want to know about. It could save you a lot of hassle.
This is for anyone who's been staying inside, not actively dating, being celibate, whether it's intentional or not intentional, and you're thinking about dating again. I just wanted to say that it is absolutely so ghetto out here. You are missing out on nothing. Just focus on your bag, focus on looking and feeling your absolute best, and your friends, your family, whatever's important to you, just everything else but a man. I swear to God, every time I feel like I'm doing something, you know, like in a silly, goofy, little fun, spontaneous, sexy girl mood, and I choose, you know, to do something like whimsical with a man, aka like go on a date, or it just ends in nothing but regret. Like, I don't regret anything in life usually, but when I think about certain situations it's the only thing that I regret, like experiences with men. Also tonight, I'm particularly embarrassed for myself, because I thought that I was just doing something cute today for myself, because I haven't gone on like a date in months. And I was like, okay, so I skipped out on work tonight and decided to like say yes to this date. And this motherfucker blocked me. He was supposed to pick me up at 9. Like, we just talked. Like, oh my God. You know, I don't care at all about I'm not feeling like, oh, he rejected me because I'm ugly. Obviously, I'm not ugly. Like, you're stupid. Like, you didn't want to come pick me up. Like, you're crazy. But anyways, it's more just like the hours and hours of lost time that I was getting ready. Literally hours, okay? Like, I did it when I go out, before I go out, I do an everything shower, you know, do the hair, do the makeup, do like everything. It just, you guys, I know you understand. And it's not even just like that kind of getting ready. It's also like mentally, you know, getting yourself ready if you're like any kind of like socially anxious, and like also like making sure my stomach's okay, like drinking teas and like hydrating myself and shit. Like I like always have like a million things going on when I'm getting ready to go out anywhere, whether it's with a guy or not. And yeah, I was doing that tonight. And then I go to call the guy when I noticed that he was 30 minutes behind. I texted him, didn't go through, so I was like, okay, like I was like, he probably blocked me, but let me just triple check. So I called him, and then it went to like that voicemail thing that was like, the number you have dialed is unavailable. So moral of the story, just in case you needed a little reminder, always choose your bag over a man. It's not even worth the risk, okay? Like, the risk of you wasting your time and like losing out on a night of, like, for me, I could have made money tonight, and now I'm not going to. And now I'm sitting here looking hot on my couch on a Sunday night for absolutely nothing. Please stay inside, just focus on yourself, and yeah, don't feel the FOMO. It's absolutely so horrendously ghetto out here, and I swear to God, it just gets like worse and worse as the days go by.
By whimsical, you probably mean by whimsical, you probably mean getting your cheeks spread open by Chad and Tyrone. You're not fooling us. Y'all are out here on your worst behavior. I can tell you right now, the good guys are in the house. Chad and Tyrone are surfing, swimming, and skating across the city, looking for their prey. And you just happen to be it for the evening. And with your attitude being the same that it is as many other modern women, there's probably going to be more of these in the future.
It's first daddy's girls out here too, because every time I date a man and he want to tell me no, all I can think is, okay, but my daddy would. So why are you with me if you're not going to take the place of my father?
Why are you with me if you wouldn't want to take the place of my father? See, this is the problem. Actually, I'll raise you a question. Why would I want to be with you if I had to take the place of your father? What I don't understand is, for many of you, eventually you will be parents, like actual parents, right? So at that point, if he's married to you and you have kids, how does he treat the kids if he's treating you like he's your father? Because I think we can genuinely all agree that the wife and the daughter should not be treated the same. The husband and the son should not be treated the same. Like, why would he replace your father? He's not your father. He's not your father. And this is what I meant. Like, I remember a while ago, I was like, guys, all these like, oh, my standards are so high because my dad, posts, they're leading to a bad place. This is the bad place. Like, she's literally saying something that has the creepiest implications ever. But because of the echo chamber of the internet, where it's like, oh yeah, like my dad would do this, so this is what I want. Ha 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 ha. Of people who have these weird relationships with their dad, wink wink. It's leading to posts like this where they're saying something that is so blatantly problematic and they're not even seeing it. Like, this is what happens when you don't have enough outside interaction. Really, truly.
In a heterosexual, monogamous relationship, just a girl and a guy doing their thing, the relationship is generally about one person more than the other. Now, let me preface, this wasn't my claim. Y'all know I'm not in a relationship. This came from one of my girlfriends who is in a serious relationship. She went to a wedding and I was asking her about it. She said, I had to remind myself, that's not my man. This isn't my wedding, because the groom makes it all about him. The relationship is about him. And then she turned to me and said, and my relationship is pretty much about me. Of course, it's a balance. You're both in it together. But my friend said, my boyfriend's life revolves around making my life better and easier. I thought it was really interesting. As a single person, I was kind of like, that's a good call. I kind of want it to be about me too. Her argument, which I agree with, is essentially it never really is 50-50. It leans one way. It might be 51-49, but it's typically more about one person than the other.
I went on a date with a guy and he said that he thinks I'm intimidating, interesting, because of my strong eye contact. He said it makes him feel like I'm listening to every word he's saying. And he's afraid that if he says something stupid that I'm going to remember. I said, you mean like right now? Is this the example?
No, it's not the example. He doesn't need to worry about him being stupid. He needs to worry about you being stupid. Instead of saying, oh no, man, I'm sure, we all get nervous. That's what he's explaining to you. What he's explaining to you is that you need to lighten up. You need to back up a little bit. Instead of you being so intense and so focused. And I know you're about, well, I'm really focused on, I'm really just listening to you. Like, I'm really curious about what you're saying. I'm sorry, I'm so intense. Instead of saying something like that, you come home, you get online, and this is what you say. Modern women, I don't know whether to call it ignorance or stupidity.